It has been a month or so since my encounter with the Rake and when I moved to Georgia. I was uprooted from my hometown, forced to leave my friends behind. Herb, however, she didn't make it. She died a few weeks after our encounter, and that was the primary reason that my parents wanted to move. The police would have suspected me of cutting her up if it wasn't for the fact that I blamed it on a serial killer. It all fit very well. The killer I blamed on broke into people's houses and stabbed and cut them a lot. He was still wanted for 9 other murders in the area, so I figured, what's the harm in blaming it on him? He deserved to be arrested, and I had done nothing to directly kill her. But I still felt guilty. I should, right? If it wasn't for me, none of this would have happened. Her blood is on my hands, but I'm not going to jail for it. Herb would want me to go on and enjoy life, for both of us. I didn't see Slenderman much after that night, or the Rake. I figured Slenderman was just keeping me safe from the Rake. Maybe Slenderman was scared of the Rake. Well, whatever the reason, I still felt like he was around and nothing bad had happened. At least not yet. In my new neighbourhood, there was nothing much going on. We had moved into a house built on old farm grounds. The locals told us all these ghost stories about various myths on the farm. A train that took people to hell, a thing taking the residents hostage and not allowing anyone in or out. After my experience, these stories were nothing. The locals were nice though. They gave us some homemade cakes as a welcoming gift. A boy my age invited me to a late night campfire. Some sort of the other kids with my age was setting up. I figured it would be a good way to make new friends, to get my mind off Herb. It started at 9 o'clock at night and we would go there to 3 in the morning. I was told I should prepare a ghost story because, as I quickly found out, these people love ghost stories. And I had a monster of one. When the night came, I told my parents I'd be back after midnight, so they shouldn't wait up. They reluctantly agreed. Under normal circumstances, they should have probably never let me even go. They knew how much I was hurting, though, so they allowed it. I walked to a house a few blocks away and knocked on the door. I was greeted by the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. She had long black hair, the perfect curvy body and the deepest set of chocolate brown eyes I had ever seen. "Hey, you're the new kid, right? Party's round back." She motioned with her hand to follow her as she stepped outside and led me to the backyard of the house. I figured she meant it was just in the backyard. But no. It couldn't be there. It had to be in the woods on the edge of the backyard. She led me back and we chatted. "My name's Jess. What about you, city boy?" "Jonah. And I'm not from the city. I'm from a suburban New England." Suburb, city, it's all the same to us. I could tell she was going to call me a city boy as long as I lived near her. Somehow I didn't mind. We stopped at a small clearing where a fire pit had been made and lit. There were 4 other boys, all looking around my age, and 2 girls. One looked around my age as well, and the other seemed to be in her early 20s. The boy that invited me, Josh, introduced me to everybody. I spent most of my time online back home, so I promptly forgot every name I had heard that night. Except for Jess, of course. We talked, we joked, and overall enjoyed ourselves. It was all starting to get really lively when 1 AM rolled around. That died quickly once it hit 1:30. Josh suddenly announced we'd start the ghost stories. We all went in a circle, starting with Josh and going counterclockwise. They told local legends and various stories I'd heard, but they changed setting and names to suit Georgia. my turn came last, right around 2:50. I started to recount my story of the Rake and the Slenderman. I told them everything. Stifferman, the pictures, and even Herb's death. Everyone was silent after a long time after that. Finally, a boy to my right spoke. "I think Jonah wins. Scariest story." "Yeah," Josh agreed. "Hey, it might have been scary, but that Rake fella ain't from here. He's from up in New England, right?" said the younger girl. "Wrong," I said. "The Rake has been spotted anywhere from Spain to California. He moves around, but I'm not scared of him." "Why?" Josh asked. "Is it 'cause of the slender guy?" I simply nodded and stood up. I just wanted to leave now, to go back home. I was lying about not being scared. I was terrified. The Rake could follow me, and I had lost that feeling of Slenderman's presence when I moved. I began walking out of the woods. I heard footsteps of someone pursuing me. I didn't stop. I didn't care who it was, or I thought I didn't. "Hey, city boy, where are you heading?" "Home, Jess." "Well then," Jess said with a sly voice, "let me walk you there. Don't want the Rake creeping up on you now, do we?" I gave a light laugh. We walked to my house together, alone. She was really a beautiful girl. Tanned and flawless skin, long legs. I'd never really found a girl I'd met attractive, but Jess made me think models I'd seen online were average looking. We chatted idly about nothing in particular. We managed to keep a conversation about nothing going for a good few minutes. My house shouldn't take so long to get to, but we walked slowly. When we had turned into my street, I pointed out my house. Jess told me she knew which one was mine. It was the only house that had been bought recently. As we stepped under the streetlight, I froze. "What's the matter, city boy?" Jess teased. "You see the Rake?" I nodded as I extended a shaking finger and pointed at the creature standing just 10 feet away, right in front of my house. She turned and fell silent. The sound of metal scraping rock echoed through the otherwise silent street as he began to approach us. I saw a glimmer of joy in his dark eyes. A slight smirk tugged at his lips. For a monster, he seemed very human. Jess let out a shriek and the Rake took off at full speed. Running on all fours and leaping into the air, he made a swipe at Jess. There was no time to think. It happened so fast. A scream. Stars in the sky, warmth on my chest and in the back of my head, cold everywhere else. The world was spinning. I started to realize what was happening. I dived without thinking in front of Jess and took the Rake's long metal claws to the chest. It didn't hurt, it just felt warm. Jess had gone. I turned my head to see her running away. "Jess," I weakly murmured. I turned my head to see the Rake. His long claws grabbed my neck and his face pushed close to mine. He had a leathery pale brown skin and the most sadistic smile I'd ever seen. He hissed and growled for a long time. Was he trying to talk? It didn't matter, I accepted my fate. I was alone and ready to die. Just like Herb. That thought shocked me out of whatever hole made me think I could just give up. I couldn't take the easy out. I pushed him and he, caught off guard, fell to the side. I scrambled to my feet and began to run to my house. As fast as possible, which wasn't very fast with the cuts along my chest. I felt the Rake behind me. His claws touched the back of my neck, then a loud bang. I stopped and turned. The Rake had ran head first into a streetlight. But it wasn't a streetlight, it was too dark to be... It was too dark by the silver pole, and there was no light coming from it. I looked up to see him. My guardian angel. The Slenderman. He didn't leave me at all. The Rake hissed and backed away. He started to run away, scared of the Slenderman. Slenderman wasn't moving though. He wasn't doing anything. What the hell? You letting him go? Slenderman looked at me. Well, pointed his head at me. You remember how I said don't kill him? Well, I was wrong. You go kill that bastard. Make him suffer. Slenderman didn't need any more than that. Large black tendrils burst from his back and flew towards the Rake. They wrapped around him and pulled him. No, pulled it close. The Rake took a swipe at Slenderman. Long fingers wrapped around its claws and tensed, bending the monster's metal claws in the ways they weren't meant to. The Rake swung his other claws and Slenderman in the head, leaving 3 long red cuts. There was red everywhere. The Rake had been impaled by Slenderman's left hand. Clean though. I thought for sure the Rake would pass out from losing that much blood, but he didn't. He had the most disturbing smile I'd ever seen. The only way he'd look more sadistic would be with a white hoodie. The Rake did the most unexpected thing. He bit Slenderman's face, or at least the front of his head. His small razor teeth sunk into Slenderman's head. The Rake held on until his black eyes rolled back. His teeth let go, and he fell to the ground. Both of the Rake's arms had been torn off, and his torso was missing a large chunk of chest. Slenderman's large foot pushed against the Rake's head, until... pop. Oh, I didn't want to look at the scene. The Rake had gone. That's all that mattered. Slenderman began to walk away, but I still wanted to ask so much. Slenderman! I called. He stopped and turned. Why are you protecting me? All the stories say you're evil. You believe that Slenderman refers to one. His voice was a low whisper and his jaw moved as if he had a mouth. We are many. What does that mean? I asked in confusion. Slenderman produced a piece of paper from his suit jacket and handed it to me. I read the familiar words on it. The operator, the Ritter, the White King, Tree Man, Bundle. And then a line that was completely new to me. The Guardian. When I looked up, he was gone. I might never see him again. I pray to God I never meet the others.